Every week I get the same question. Is Italy actually the best place to retire abroad? I'm gonna make it simple. It is. We're gonna cover the 3 visa paths that get you here legally and comfortably. We're going to look at the 5 real reasons why Italy makes sense as a retirement destination. And somewhere in this video, I'm gonna tell you who this move is not right for. Stay for that part, it could save you from a very expensive mistake. Let's start with a practical question. How do you actually get here legally? There are 3 main paths. 1, the Elective Residency Visa, or as we call it, the ERV. The most common route for retirees is the Elective Residency Visa. This is designed specifically for people who want to live in Italy without working. You're living on passive income, a pension, retirement savings, investments, rental income, whatever you're drawing from back home. The key requirement is income. Italy wants to see that you can support yourself without touching the Italian economy for work. The minimum is around 31,000 euros per year for a single applicant. That might sound like a lot, but most retirees living comfortably in Italy are spending well below that, which means the ERV minimum actually gives you real breathing room. You apply from your home country at the Italian consulate. Once approved, you come to Italy, register your residency, and get your permesso di soggiorno, your residence permit. It's not a fast process, but it is a well-worn path that thousands of people do every year. You will also need a codice fiscale, which you can get way ahead of time. Actually, you can even get it now. And if you want to, let me know, send me an email and I'll send you a link where you can do it online. If you want to explore whether the ERV is right for your situation, I have a link below where you can book a consultation. We'll look at your income, your timeline, and whether you're ready to start the process. The second path is the Italian Golden Visa, formerly called the Investor Visa. This one is for people who are willing to make a qualifying investment in Italy in exchange for residency. We're talking about investments in Italian companies, government bonds, innovative startups, or philanthropic projects. The threshold starts at 250,000 euros and can go up to 2 million euros for government bonds. The Golden Visa gives you a 2-year residence permit, renewable, with a path to permanent residency after 5 years and an Italian citizenship after 10. Now, here's something important that most people don't realize. Unlike the ERV visa, which strictly forbids any form of employment, the Golden Visa allows you to work and do business in Italy. So if you're not fully retired, if you're still running a business, consulting, or planning to build something in Italy, the Golden Visa opens doors that the ERV simply doesn't. That makes it one of the most flexible residency options available anywhere in Europe. If the Golden Visa is your path, make sure you're speaking to a cross-border tax advisor who knows both systems. If you'd like me to make a fully dedicated video on the Golden Visa, drop a comment below and let me know. The third path is the Italian citizenship. And this one is worth thinking about more broadly than most people do. If you already hold citizenship in any EU country, not just Italy, any EU member state, you have the right to live in Italy without a visa, without an investment, and without a minimum income requirement. Freedom of movement within the Schengen area means that a French passport, a German passport, an Irish passport, any of them gives you the legal right to simply move to Italy and stay. No application process, no permit required beyond registering your residency locally. If that's your situation, you're already holding the key and you may not even know it. Now, for those who don't have EU citizenship yet, Italian citizenship specifically is one of the most valuable passports in the world, and there are several ways to pursue it. The most talked about route is citizenship by descent, jure sanguinis. Italy recognizes your right of citizenship through Italian ancestry, and there is no generation limit in many cases. However, the laws around juris sanguinis have changed recently, and this is no longer a straightforward process to navigate on your own. If you're thinking of going down this road, my strong advice is to work with a lawyer who specializes specifically in Italian citizenship by descent. Not a general immigration attorney, someone who does this exclusively. The rules are complex, they are changing, and the difference between getting it right and getting it wrong can cost you years. Now, let's talk about why you should retire in Italy. The real reasons. And reason one is the 7% flat tax. Italy offers a flat 7% tax on all foreign sourced incomes for qualifying retirees. That means your pension, your retirement account withdrawals, your investment income, your rental income from back home, all of it taxed at a flat 7% for up to 10 years. Now, there are rules. You have to establish your first Italian tax residency in a qualifying municipality. These are mostly smaller towns of up to 30,000 residents in southern Italy and certain earthquake-affected areas. You cannot move to a major city first and then relocate to a qualifying town later to activate the scheme. Your first registration has to be there. I have a full dedicated video on this and I'll link it in the description below. Second reason is cost of living. People assume Italy is cheap. The reality is more nuanced than that. The national average cost of a comfortable retirement in Italy, rent, food, utilities, healthcare, contributions, transportation, eating out, it is roughly 1,700 euros a month. Factor in taxes depending on your situation, and you're looking at somewhere between 1,900 and 2,300 euros a month on the higher end. And of course, this is excluding the big cities like Milano, Rome, Firenze. Those are more expensive. Now remember, the ERV minimum income requirement is 31,000 euros a year. That's about 2,580 euros a month. So if you're qualifying for the visa, you already have more than enough to live comfortably by Italian standards with money left over. And here's something important. Most retirees I work with find their actually day-to-day spending incomes way below the national average, especially in smaller towns and rural areas. Fresh local food is affordable. Eating out at a neighborhood trattoria is not a luxury, it's just Tuesday. Third reason is healthcare. This is a question I get more than almost any other. What happens if I get sick? What's the healthcare like? So here's the answer. Italy's healthcare system is ranked second best in the world. The quality of care is high, the infrastructure is solid, and unlike the system many of you are coming from, medical bankruptcy is simply not a concept here. Now, how does it work practically as a new resident? When you first arrive in Italy on your ERV visa, you are not yet enrolled in the public system. During this initial period, you need private international health insurance. This is also a requirement for your visa application. You need to show proof of coverage with a minimum of 30,000 euros of coverage, including emergency hospitalization and repatriation. Once you have your official residency permit and you're registered as a resident at your comune, you become eligible to voluntarily enroll in Italy's public healthcare system, the Servizio Sanitario Nazionale, or SSN. You do this at your local ASL office, which is the local health authority. Enrollment in the SSN involves paying an annual contribution. The amount is based on your income. It's not a fixed fee. For most retirees living on moderate foreign income, it is a very reasonable 2,000 euros per year. Once you're enrolled, you have access to the full public system. GP registration, specialist referrals, hospitalization prescriptions, all at little or no cost. Many expats choose to keep a private supplemental plan alongside the public one, particularly in the early years. This gives you faster access to specialists and private facilities if you want that option. But the public system alone is genuinely good. The bottom line, healthcare is not a reason to avoid Italy. For most retirees, it's actually a reason to choose it. Reason 4, lifestyle, food, and longevity. I could talk about the weather, I could talk about the art and the architecture, but what actually changes people when they move here is something that's kind of hard to describe. Italy operates at a different pace, not a lazy pace, a human pace. There is a rhythm to daily life here that most of us have forgotten exists. The morning coffee standing up at the bar, the afternoon that slows down, the evening passeggiata through the piazza. These are not tourist attractions. They are just how life works. And the food, I don't mean restaurant food, though that's wonderful too. I mean the way food is woven into daily life here. Fresh, seasonal, local, shared. Italians don't eat on the go. They sit down, they take their time. When your lunch conversation is about what you're going to have for dinner, you know you're becoming Italian. I want to tell you about Sardinia. It is one of only 5 blue zones in the entire world. Places where people consistently live longer, healthier lives than anywhere else. Researchers have studied this for decades. The diet, the community, the sense of purpose, the pace of life, all of it contributes. You can't bottle that, but you can move there. This is not a small thing. The lifestyle you're choosing when you retire in Italy is one that has been quietly producing long, healthy, connected lives for generations. And reason 5, safety and community. Italy is a safe country. You can walk at night, you can leave your table at a restaurant without worrying. Small towns in particular have a quality of life that feels almost forgotten elsewhere. Neighbors know each other, doors are left open, there is a sense of shared life that is genuinely rare. And for those of you thinking about the social side, the expat community in Italy is real and it is welcoming. There are established communities of British, American, Northern European, Australian, and other international residents across the country. Which brings me to something I've been wanting to mention, one of the most common questions I get. It's not just should I move to Italy, but it's where in Italy should I move to? And that question has a different answer for every person, depending on your lifestyle, your budget, your language comfort, your healthcare needs, and yes, how important an expat community is to you. That's actually one of the questions in our free quiz over at ItalyBlueprint.com. It takes about 3 minutes and it gives you a personalized match for which towns in Italy might actually suit your life. The link is in the description or you can follow the QR code. Now, I promised you I'd tell you who this move is not right for, and I'm going to keep that promise. Italy is extraordinary, but it is not for everyone. And the people who struggle here usually fall into one of these categories. If you need everything to be fast and efficient, if a slow internet connection makes you angry, if a shop being closed in the afternoon feels like it's a personal attack, Italy will test your patience in ways you are not ready for. The pace is part of what actually makes it beautiful. It is also a part of what can make it frustrating. Many expats actually kind of get to like the Italian bureaucracy after moving. It's kind of a part of the culture here. Second reason is if you have no intention of learning Italian. Not fluency, just some basic effort. You'll find daily life genuinely difficult outside tourist areas. Italians appreciate the attempt enormously. They will meet you more than halfway if you try. You can get the free Italy Survivor Glossary from my website. So is Italy the best place to retire abroad? For the right person, I believe it is. Not because it's perfect, but because what it offers, the lifestyle, the healthcare, the cost of living, the tax advantage, the safety, the food, the beauty, the pace. It's all a combination you simply cannot find anywhere else. The question is whether you are that person. And I hope this video helped you get a little closer to that answer. If you want to go deeper on any of the visa paths, specifically the ERV, I have a link below where you can book a consultation. We'll look at your specific situation and tell you exactly where you stand. And if you haven't taken the quiz yet, 3 minutes at theItalyBlueprint.com and you'll have a much clearer picture of which towns in Italy might actually suit your life. If you found this useful, subscribe or join as a member. I put out videos every week and what it actually takes to make this move. And drop your biggest question in the comments. I read every single one. Now, if you want to see which towns actually are worth living in, watch this next video.